When you enter into the Polestar 4, the car turns on automatically and it adjusts to your predefined driver profile. So we are now driving the Polestar 4. I'm giving this car back to Polestar, and what I can say is that if I compare this car with my Polestar 2, it is a way more refined driving, meaning that everything is smoother, everything feels better. The adjustable suspensions are really filtering all the little road imperfections. And actually, talking about the suspensions, you can adjust them. So now they are standard, and if you have two other steps, and if I put on the most stiff one, you feel right away that the driving becomes stiffer. And I'm gonna turn off that annoying speed limit signal. Thanks God you can have that in the shortcuts on the screen, and then you can very easily access and turn it off. Talking about annoying things, there is a camera right here that is constantly monitoring if I pay attention to the road ahead. This is a good thing talking about safety, but I get constantly reminded to be concentrated on my driving even when I want to modify some things on the screen. So why giving us now big screens on cars if anytime I want to change a setting I get reminded that I have to be concentrated on the road? Crazy times we are living in. So let's try to find some twisty roads. This car weighs 2.2 tons, so don't expect a sporty behavior. As opposed to my Polestar 2 BST, who weighs 2.1 tons. Oh, can I pass here with my 2 meters wide Polestar? I think yes. Woohoo! Nice. So acceleration, I'm in the range mode as opposed to the performance one, meaning that I don't have all the 544 horsepower, but despite that, acceleration is already really good. When you drive on those like now, when you drive on these very narrow roads, you need to keep in mind that your car is 2 meters wide. So I'm gonna go now on the standard suspensions, softer, and you feel quite right away the difference. The ride becomes way more comfortable. This is why I love EV cars. I mean, it's so smooth, so silent, yet you get all the power you need whenever you need, instantly. And I like when you put the turning signal, how you get directly access to the 3D representation of the car. That's very cool. And also I like this full, if I manage to do it, full map screen. The driving position is really good. I managed to set the steering wheel and the seats in a way that when I drive, my head is really touching the headrest, and I have a very comfortable position. I feel really good into this car, and also seats are not as firm as the one I have on my Polestar 2. They are way more comfortable. If you choose the Napa leather option, you can have the cooled and massage. Otherwise, you only get the heated seats. behind me. Let's try to do 0 to 80 on the, I'm on the normal range mode, so we're gonna try to do that right now. Wow, it is really plenty enough, even if you are not in the performance setting. So now let's try to do the same things in performance. There's no one behind me. Let's go. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. It is even better. Wow, in performance with the full 544 horsepower, the acceleration is mind-blowing. As a reminder, 3.8 seconds to get to 100 kilometers an hour from a standstill position. And whenever you need power, concentrate on the road. I was watching the roads. Whenever you need power, power it is. Wow. Wow. The region brake is very strong, same as a Tesla. This is something I like. You can really drive this car with one pedal only. You almost don't touch the brake pedal at all. Yoo-hoo. The handling is good. Don't expect a sporty feeling like I have on my Polestar 2 BST, for example, but still the handling is really good. Wow, you can really play with it. On freeway at 120 kilometers an hour, you hear the wind noise, and specifically from this area. I think it has something to do with the shape of the side mirror. But other than that, it is really a very refined and comfortable drive. We're getting to a tunnel, so you can have a look at the ambient light. There you go, I like it. It's not in your face like on some Mercedes cars, for example. And if you want to change the light, you go to ambient. Polestar has a very funny way of doing it. It is based on the solar system, so you choose a planet and you get the color accordingly. The downside to that is that you cannot mix color. Let's say I want to have the stripe in yellow and the lower part in red. You cannot do that. It will always be a unified color. Let's put it back to earth. And as you can see, it gives a very cool vibe into the cabin of the Polestar 4. Driving assist, so you can select the pilot assist. And let's see, I have to put back the lane assist also. It is back on. And one annoying things about the commands is what you get on the steering wheel. You don't have physic buttons, you just have one haptic button. But the problem is there are no signs to where you should press. Like, let's say now that I want to raise the speed, I guess by looking at the symbol here that is here on top, indeed it is, but you don't have any visual sign where you have to press. So sometimes you end up missing the pressing position, if that makes sense. And it's the same on this side. Let's say that I want to raise the volume of the infotainment. I guess that is here up, and it is, but there is nothing telling me on the steering wheel what these commands can do. And it is only once you press that you see some things on the driver display, but then it disappears. So this is something that I heard that there is a recall for specifically changing the button on the steering wheel done from Polestar, so I need to inquire a little bit more on that. When the car initially come out, there were quite a lot of bugs, software related bugs. Polestar released quite a lot of software updates that really put things back in place. Like now the car is keeping its lane quite good. I remember at the beginning some reviewer were complaining about the car waving through the lane, and I really don't see that. The car stays within the lane, as you can see. There you go. Talking about the energy consumption, I had a 4 hours drive this weekend on freeway and going up to a hill, and if I have a look at the energy consumption, I'm at 23.4 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. It is quite high, but it is on par with what I get on my Polestar 2 BST that is based on the 23 model year. So when they released the 24 model year, they updated the motors on the Polestar 2, so you got a way better energy consumption, but I still have the previous ones. So if I have to compare, despite this car being heavy, the energy consumption, while being relatively high, it's on par with what I get on my car. And now let's talk about the rear view screen. As I said previously, when you wear progressive lenses like I do, it is a little bit annoying because when you watch the screen, I see it blurred. If I want to see a good image, I will have to tilt my head up like this. But other than that, what I really like is that it gives you a very wide vision of the back of the car and what is happening. I guess you get used. Maybe I need more than a few days to get used to that. But the problem for me is if I take off my glasses is even worse, because being an old man, oh, now I get reminded once again that I have to be concentrated on the road and stop talking to a camera. I really like this Polestar 4. I liked it from the moment I saw the first press release image. Yes, I'm looking at the street ahead. Stop reminding me. Should I have this car, I would put some things here to cover this annoying camera. Let's go! Woohoo! You are the king of the road with a powerful EV car, but you need to be careful about the speed limitations. The head-up display is very good. It simulates a 14-inch screen, so the informations are really very well displayed. When you don't have navigation activated or driving assist, you only get the speed and the speed limitation. But you can get the turn-by-turn informations if you are setting a destination on Google Maps. And I believe if you're getting a phone call, you get it also on the head-up display. There's a big truck ahead of me. Thanks God we're not in the US. I will not get rolling coal, how you call that, when they accelerate and you get a lot of smoke. No. So in conclusion, talking about the driving feeling of this car, I love it. It is really very well refined. You are into a comfy, very well built cabin. You don't hear a lot of noise, with the exception of some little wind noises coming from this area here. but I like what I see, I like what I feel, and the Polestar 4 is a car that I would totally like to own. Let's say that my Polestar 2 BST 230 is a more driving oriented car, while this Polestar 4 is a more refined experience and a more luxury and a more high-tech experience. So the choice is really, comparing the two, is whether you want to have a smaller car, way more nimble driving experience, or you want to have a comfy high-tech car. I would get this. The battery is currently charged at 54% and I still have 304 kilometers of range. It is way better than what I get on my Polestar 2. Depends where you're coming from, this may be a valid replacement. Talking about myself, it would be definitely a step up compared to my actual car.